Hello and welcome back. I'm Shelf Unit and this is my continuing Let's Play of Shadowrun Dragonfall. Okay, so at the end of last episode we finished off our run. We successfully negotiated an ambush. We came back and we found a new DVD that had just been cleaned up for us and found out a few more things. So let's talk to Port Amsel now. Amsel calls over his shoulder at the sound of your approach. His eyes are glued to his computer's display. Even so, said, Frau Muller should be on her way, but before you go to the meeting site I have news. He glances at you and his words trail off. Upon seeing the expression on his face, Amsel's voice becomes grave. Can wait? Tell me what? You can wait, tell me what's happened. You can wait, tell me what's happened. Had some trouble on the U-Bahn. Somebody set up an ambush. Amsel pauses and gives a curt nod. Truth be told, I've been expecting that something like this might happen. I'm just glad you made it out alive. Hand over the encrypted PDA. One of the attackers dropped this. Amsel takes the PDA from you and examines it. Yes, I should be able to extract some information from this. Give me a moment. He plugs the PDA into his computer and goes to work. A few moments later he lets out a grunt of dismay. Well, Sir, I was able to recover a file, but unfortunately, it's all I'll ever be able to pull out of the thing. All that anyone will, truth be told. It must have been running some kind of counter-intrusion software. The instant that I gained access, it bricked itself. Amsel disconnects the useless PDA and drops it to the ground. It clatters on to the rest on the metal floor. What did you manage to pull of it? Com file. The audio is all here, but it looks like we've only got video from one side of the conversation. Let's see what we have. He opens the file and a nightmarishly familiar face appears on screen. Ah, this guy. Ordran. Backmire. The voice bleats out from Amsel's speakers, feeling the room. Ordran here, what's your status? Backmire's image is garbled, but his voice sounds young and eager. Target acquired, sir, you're right. We spotted her on the U-Bahn, just like you said, probably on her way to a job. As per your instructions, we're going to try and take her out on our way back. She'll be more vulnerable that way. Hopefully injured and low on ammo too, but only time will tell. Good man. Proceed as instructed. Will do. Cosman is rigging up an ambush spot now. We'll try to make it quick. The orc with the nightmare face nods. Send me a comm when the job is done. Ordering out. The image on the computer screen dies. Amsel turns to face you. Well, our scarred friend makes an appearance. Sarah Evans tells us that. I suspect that Green Winter's predictions are coming true. I believe that Fierschwing is behind this. Under Amsel's patient exterior, you can feel the worry that's eating at him. Be on your guard, you and the rest of your team. You made it through this attack relatively unscathed, but the next time might not be so lucky. At least we have a name to put to the face. Ordran. That's not all we have. As I was saying when you first walked in, I've been productive as well. I was able to uncover some new evidence in your absence, and coincidentally enough, that evidence pertains to our scarred friend. You might recall that I'd said I'd dig into Ordran's skin grafts. Well, I did, and that search has finally borne fruit. One of my contacts outside of Berlin handles the paperwork for private hospitals all across Germany. It's a dull, boring job, but it does have its perks. Amsel pulls open a file on his screen. A medical chart opens up on the screen. As it turns out, our scarred friend's skin grafts were performed at a legitimate hospital after all. Some good news for once. What do they say? Well, they're rather light on identifying information. Our friend's name is listed as Max Mustermann, the local equivalent of John Doe. But they do recover his injuries in great detail. Ordran's injuries were extensive. He had 2 broken ribs and a shattered pelvis, and he had sustained third-degree burns over 60% of his body. Most damningly of all, he was suffering from acute radiation poisoning. His body had absorbed over 5,000 millisieverts of ionizing radiation, a lethal dose without treatment. The information dries up at this point. We know that he was treated and discharged, but what happened afterwards remains a mystery. He pauses for a moment, studying her reaction. Your thoughts? Hold nothing back. I'd like to hear everything that comes to mind. Well, those burns sound like Dragonfire, but if the fire wing burned Ordran, why would he be working for her now? Ordran, Adrian, I think there's a link here. I don't think that Ordran is working for the firing. I believe that he is serving her. On Green Winter's second DVD, he mentions that there is a cult within the Sox that worships the firing, the disciples of the cleaning fire. I believe that Ordran belongs to this cult. That's bad news. There's nothing more dangerous than a zealot. My thoughts exactly. A hireling can sometimes be bribed or reasoned with. A pawn can be liberated, but a surviving soldiers look upon her as a goddess figure. Nothing short of killing her will deter them, and even that might not stop them. So it is possible that Audrun is a dragon cultist. This seems to fit with much of the other information that we've uncovered. Did any other red flags jump out at you? Audrun might have spent some time in the sulks. That radiation poisoning didn't happen on its own. Agreed. 5,000 millisieverts is a lot of exposure. Short of basking in the glow of an unshielded reactor, I don't know how he'd absorb that much ionizing radiation without spending time in the sulks. Maybe he set off an atomic bomb. Alright, so Audrun was heavily irradiated, most likely from the time spent in sulks. What else does this tell you? The hospital couldn't ID Audrun either. Somebody covered his tracks for him, or he was living completely off the grid. Indeed, if Audrun were a denizen of the sulks, a glowpunk, his lack of identifying information would make sense. Amsel adjusts his glasses. It's a fucking theory at any rate. So, to sum up, Audrun has probably spent some time in the sulks. It's possible he even lived there, as a member of Fierschwing's dragon cult, and he is after you. Amsel pauses for a moment before continuing. In my mind, all of this reinforces one fact. We need to find Vauclair, and we need to do it fast. Agreed. Good, and that's all the more reason to gather Alice's fee as quickly as possible. There's a buzzing sound from Paul's wrist, and he lifts his hand to look at his PDA. And as luck would have it, Frau Muller has arrived. Best of luck meeting Sarah Evenstad. Remember, this is urgent. We need that money. I'm on it. Okay, let's talk to you, Dante. Pet him. What? Tell him to stay put. Oh. Now, I did notice as I was leaving last time that I have 15 points to spend. So let's quickly spend that before we head out. So, what do I need? 15 points would get me another etiquette with 4 points left. I do want to get up to stripping armor with combat though. So let's get some ranged combat. Yeah, okay, I'm confirming I'm upgrading my shotgun. Now, I can't remember how I upgrade my my peeps though. Maybe I do that at a different time. Either way, let's go talk to the doc quickly. It's the wine cellar, wine killer. Well, where's the doc? Is the doc over here? Triage Cyber Clinic. Let's just quickly go there and say hello. Yeah, we need to talk to him. Welcome back. What can I do for you, my friend? I got your message. What did you want to discuss? Business. I have a job for you. I'm always interested in hearing about new business opportunities. Good, so let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Back before I emigrated here from my native Spain. Okay, I worked in a partnership with the Berlin-based R&D lab. The biotech said they were developing a very hush-hush, very cutting edge. Our arrangement was that I would bankroll their research, and that they in turn would provide me with unique merchandise to sell in my clinic. That's more French, but close enough. Clinics? You had more than one? Certainly, must confess, before I moved to Berlin, I like the Spanish quiff. I was something of a celebrity doctor. I had a chain of triage clinics that stretched from Bilbao to Madrid. I was a very wealthy man. Then my name was slandered, and the fickle mistress, with his public perception, turned against me. An ugly business, I assure you. Even talking about my fall from grace makes my stomach turn. The injustice of it all is almost too much to bear. How was your name slandered? What did they accuse you of? He sighs. What didn't they? Theft, medical malpractice, the sale of stolen goods. More colorful accusations that do not bear repeating. That was then and this is now. I came here to Berlin to escape all of that. Of course, I also moved here to be closer to the lab that I founded, and the merchandise that I owed. So let me guess, you want me to go fetching merchandise? Yes, and to find out what happened to the lab itself. The facility is locked down, you see, nearly impenetrable, and I have no idea why. As I was packing to move to Berlin, all was well. 16 hours later, I arrived to discover the building locked tight with merchandise inside. The Turk, Altuk, has been running surveillance on the site since I set up shop here. In that time, no one has entered and no one has left. Whatever went wrong in there must have killed the research team. I want you to find a way into the building, recover the cyber tech that they were developing, and find out what has happened to the researchers in that order. The building's been abandoned. I'm surprised that the lot it's sitting on hasn't been gobbled up by some corp or other. Don't be. Back when I was a wealthy man, before my legal troubles, I paid the lease for a decade in advance. And before you say anything, yes, it was a huge expense. But what's locked away inside of that lab is worth 10 times what I've spent on it. I don't want anyone laying claim to it but me. If your merchandise has been sitting in this building for 2 years, why didn't you approach Monica about this? Who says that I didn't? I had a, let us say, tumultuous friendship with your dear departed Monica. We had our ups and downs, you see, and on this subject she was most certainly down. That was her choice. I'm hoping that you will be savvy enough not to make the same mistake. Alright, let's talk compensation. What's in this for me? I can offer you 2,000 million, plus first crack at whatever biotech you recover from the site. I will of course have to charge you for anything that you want to have installed, but I can provide it to you at a discount. This is top of the line ware that we're talking about, mind you. Better than anything else I've got in stock. And because it's biotech, the essence lost from implanting it will be minimal. It's a good deal, win-win for you really. What's it going to be? Will you take the job or not? Alright, Doc, I'm in. Excellent. The facility you're looking for is the former laboratory of the Tutel in Bioscience. Take the U-Bahn to the Plaza, and you're sure to find it. Best of luck. Excellent. Now then, let's go to the U-Bahn. And have a chat to Frau Muller. The solitary woman stands at the edge of the U-Bahn platform. She suppresses a shiver and hugs herself for warmth. Frau Muller? She appears as Amsel described her. An impressive-looking woman of Aztlander descent, with coffee-coloured skin and dark, wavy hair. Everything about her screams corporate executive, from her expensive-looking suit to her tastefully understated makeup. She's obviously nervous, but she's hiding it well. She locks eyes with you and hesitates only slightly before speaking. Serious as I said, I presume? Herr Amsel told me that I could meet you here. He wasn't lying. He said you had a job for me. She holds a silence for a moment and then nods. Yes, I do. In truth, I'm in desperate need of your help. Tell me what you need, Frau Muller. She offers you a small smile. An assumed name, obviously. But I have been told that this is how you people do business. God damn it, how many more etiquettes am I going to not have? She straightens in her seat and tries on a smile. It hangs there for a second and then fades away. She sighs. From her accent, you've no doubt inferred that I am an Aztlana. Further, you may have guessed who I have worked for. I'm afraid I haven't. Care to fill me in? As Technology, the only Aztlan-based corporation operating in Germany. I've been with the company over a decade. Over the course of my employment, I've worked on a great many projects. From the innocuous to the obscene, my hands have touched it all. Never once did I question the wisdom of our research, never once did I consider blowing the whistle on my employers. I kept my nose down, worked hard and excelled at the task set before me. And I must love you there. No more than any other employee. But my commitment and work ethic were recognized, and I ascended the corporate ladder fairly quickly, which brings me to where I am today. Last month I was transferred here from my home in Tenochtitlan. She's not German, she's sort of Central American, let's say. Oh well, I'm just going to give her a German accent anyway. They told me that an employee of my caliber was needed in Berlin and that I would be working on a project with wide-reaching applications. The only other detail that I was given was the name of the project, Bloodline. Catchy. She looks you in the eye, and for the first time you can see the cracks in her composure. She's doing a good job of hiding it, but deep down this woman is terrified. I've seen many terrible things in my life, Sir Evenstar. The third. In Tenochtitlan, blood magic is commonplace. Take a moment to imagine what that means. In the underground markets, people are bought and sold as chattel. Street children are rounded up and bled like lambs. I witnessed all of these things by the age of 12. She takes a deep breath but lets it out slowly. And then lets it out slowly. Seeing such things, it changes you, makes you numb, but what I found when I arrived here was worse. This project horrifies me, said Evenstar III, and it must be stopped. Tell me everything you know about Bloodline. She shakes her head. The less you know, the better for both of us. You just have to trust me on that. You need only know that it is evil and not a word I use lightly. Alright, fine. What do you want me to do about it? She leans in and looks you in the eye. I want you to bring the building down. Computers, the research data, the majors, scientists that are working to bring this abomination. I want all of them burned to ash and buried in rubble. No compromises, no exceptions. Her tone softens. I'm sure you have unanswered questions. I'm not in the habit of dealing with Shadowrunners. In truth, I spent the majority of my career living in fear of you people. But I do know that you're the only ones who can get this done. So tell me, Sarah Evenstar III, is there anything more you need to hear from me? Are you ready to make a decision? Paul Amsel is my representative in these matters. Why can you tell all of this to him? I had to meet you in person, to look into your eyes and see the woman behind the name. Now that I have done so, I'm sure you're the one that I need. Naturally, I will send any further information about the job to Herr Amsel, provided, of course, you accept. What about any innocent people in the building? None of us are innocent, Sarah Evenstar. But if you do need to salve your conscience, rest assured that at the hour of your approach, the only personnel authorized to be on the site will be security and senior members of the research team, and I assure you, neither are innocent in this matter. If the Bloodline project reaches completion, nobody will be safe ever again. This sounds like hyperbole, I know, but it isn't. The Bloodline project will lead to countless deaths. I am certain enough of this to hire you, despite the fact that doing so will probably cost me my own life. I'm not a demolitions expert, Frambler. How would you expect me to level a building? You don't need to be. All you need is a competent decker. The facility is powered by a number of on-site generators. There are safeguards in place to prevent them from overloading in the event of a power spike. The system is designed to shut itself down. But I know how you can disable those safeguards. Once the generators begin to overload, you'll have a limited time to reach a safe distance. The explosion will be quite catastrophic. What can you tell me about the building security? Expected to be tight. In addition to their standard security team, Us Technology has taken out a night-errant high-threat response team contract to protect the building. Corporate doesn't seem to mind contracting a competitor for emergency response services. This should give you some indication as to the uniqueness of this project. At any rate, I believe I've come up with a solution to the night-errant problem. I'll discuss the matter with you, Herr Amsel, if you decide to take the job. Let's talk compensation. 36,000 million, as I told your friend. Herr Amsel, that's what I've allocated for the job. That's fair. Better than fair. I've done my homework, Sarah Evenstar. I've reached the decision. I'll take the job. Her face visibly brightens. In that case, it's a deal. I can't tell you how relieved I am, Sarah Evenstar III. Thank you for helping me to bring this nightmare to an end. I will iron out the remaining details with your Herr Amsel. You'll want to talk this over with you anyway, I'm sure. You're a good woman, Sarah Evenstar. You're saving more lives than you know. Excellent news. I always like to save lives. Let's board the train. Let's find his lab. Okay. Okay. Yeah, why not? Okay. Lockdown. The ride to the Adenauerplatz is a dismal one. The only company on this train is an elderly dwarf in a ragged peacoat, and he spends most of his time muttering to himself. When the train rattles to a stop, he slowly rises from his perch and begins to hobble towards the doorway. The station itself isn't much different, an old, broken-down thing at the end of its useful life, feebly tottering towards obsolescence. This area of Berlin has clearly seen better days. A window of light shines down from the surface, and even that looks stale. Slowly, you begin to climb. Okay. What is this? That's some form of chip. What do I want there? What do I want him to have? Seems like he can have another bliss. You can have another big cool grenade and a hyper. And you're done. Okie dokie. Streets above the Adenauer are dark and dismal. This keys has seen better days. Everything here reeks of economic depression and faded glory. Leading above you is a fortress-like, seemingly impregnable facility. Windows have been shuttered with enormous steel panels, lending the entire building a sinister appearance. That's our target. Suited in bioscience. I wonder what happened in there. Might still be happening for all we know. That's a cheerful thought. Come on, Chief, let's get this over with. Yes, indeed, let's. Might as well head down to the limits. Search around, see what's happening. Okay, well, these guys got to be here, I suppose, for a reason. This pile of trash is steaming. Fetid waves of stench wash over as you draw near. God damn, that's rank. I'll stay back here if you don't mind. Better things to do than dig through a pile of decomposing trash. Might not be decomposition. That steam could be coming from a grate or a vent under the pile. Here, wait, I ain't touching it. Move the trash aside. The garbage pile was containing a small HVAC vent. The steam that pours from it smells much cleaner now that it isn't being filtered through a heap of filth. A dwarf might be able to fit inside the vent, but nothing larger. Send in a drone. At the end of the duct you find a maintenance panel. It was designed with a big chunky handle suitable for drone operation. Open the hatch. Behind the hatch you find a giant great rat's nest of monofilament wires. Each wire snakes over and around the others to connect to a different endpoint. Thankfully all of the endpoints are labelled. It doesn't take long to find the wire that governs the power locks for the building's front door. Short circuit the front door lock. After a few seconds of fiddling with the wires, you are rewarded with a bright flash and a wisp of oily blue smoke. Next to the words, lock status door F fizzles out. Street level door should be accessible now. Excellent. Okay then guys, Well, let's also see what we can do here. Oh, unless this is no longer necessary. Fair enough, I'll take that. Let's come around here. Is there anything interesting here? No. Okay, enter the lab. Okay, I might be slightly early, but I'm going to end this particular episode here before we go in and start combat, which I won't be able to save in. So I will end the episode here and come back to it in the next episode. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please subscribe. If not, do not worry about it. Thank you again, and goodbye. See you next time.